Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. We're going to do a market recap of this week for the week ending October 18, 2024. This is the weekly chart of the Nasdaq. As you can see, in the since August, we had this correction here. Then we came back up above the red line, 10-week moving average, and then we pulled back once again. And then finally, we start to bounce, and then we cross this previous high here, and then right here there's a slight pullback. You can't really tell even from the weekly chart. It was just very slight. We can see it on the daily chart. Like if you go to daily here, you can see right here. So this is the um, what's happening. We did have, and then we've been bouncing, and we crossed this high, and then even this pullback now we crossed that. um, and then we started this week pretty like gap up right here in the morning on Monday on Nasdaq. Tuesday we have a reversal. The big news was the ASML news that really triggered a lot of selling in the chip area. Um, and that was Tuesday, and you can see how sharp of a drop that was. Um, and then we did bounce on Wednesday morning and recover a little bit. And then Thursday, we recovered more, but then we kind of closed very weak. And then on Friday, we gap up again, um, but we haven't make a new high yet. But at least it has somewhat show some recovery. So so from that perspective, it's still overall it's still a positive week, as you can see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks now up, since this second pullback right here. So that's a good sign. So we've come a long way, right? From the bottom of 2022, and I just want to do, just go back a little bit in history here, and and then when this bounce right here, and then we have this strong correction, pullback, or whatever you want to call it, and then we run again. So this is the first rally we had, going into 2023. And then we had this summer doldrum here that didn't do too well, and then after that we bounced again into 2023, I mean 2024. And then this year we had correction around, I think it started in March, I believe, towards middle of April. Then we have another bounce, so that was 12 weeks up. And then we have this summer um, issue since August, and now we haven't made new high yet. We're getting very close to it. So that's what I'm trying to highlight here. And so this bull market so far um, has been trending pretty good for the last 2 years. Um, and now we are near the breakout point again from this previous high. And I think this is very significant just because, um, the other thing that, that's happening, it seems like the market is broadening. And we'll see in some of the breath later. But it seems like, yeah, like it used to be just the max 7, right, back in 2020, late 2022, 23. But now, you know, it seems to be expanding. So that's a good sign. So it seems the bull market, basically what I'm trying to say is it's getting more healthier. And now we are in earnings season, 1 week into it, and so far it hasn't disappointed too bad, which is a good sign, right? We had Netflix, Intuitive Surgical run up yesterday on Friday. So we can jump to those right now since we're talking about it. And it was actually Netflix, has been doing pretty well. Like this is one big cap stock that is like under the radar most of the time, and this is a stock that is known to move on earnings. This is the gap right here. This is the down right here. And then this is another down right here, and this time is up, right? So uh, earnings are really, really strong, even like 45% growth. and then forecasting 97% growth. Like that's pretty strong. Um, so almost double. So yeah, like if I go to daily chart, you can see right here, like this is pulling back right here, right from like it's I was like talking about this before, how this nice cup and handle pattern, like, it just couldn't go, like it just kind of gyrates around this area, this zone, and it just couldn't go, and then it finally start going for like a couple of days, and then it just start to pull back again. So a lot of people might have got trapped here, um, and then this bounce right here, like I did take a position yesterday. Not sure if it'll work, but I did take it just because, um, again, I feel like the market breadth is expanding, and when you see fundamental numbers that are so strong, like I have to, and this is, this is a nice pattern, right? And even though it hasn't really succeeded for a while, but you can imagine, like, the patience that one has to have, right? And now that it has taken off, like I want to be on this ride, and again, who knows? It could pull back again or go sideways and do nothing. I have no idea what it's gonna do. Um, we'll see. But I like the numbers, and Netflix is it's one of those stocks, when it does move, right? So so here's the last time it gap up, and so we'll see. The other stock that reported Friday was Intuitive Surgical. Same, very similar to Netflix chart, right? Like it was like kind of doing nothing for many weeks. You can see here, this is a weekly chart, and finally it came out yesterday. Very strong, high volume. The fundamentals are, it's not as strong as you used to be. Like you can see the earnings growth used to be 20%, and but it's kind of slowing down a little bit. But the market still like where it's heading, so that I guess that's a good news. Um, the sales are still doing okay. And so here's the daily chart. Like this is a nice clean breakout, and I was a little bit hesitant in the morning, and I didn't pay attention to it, and then it just took off, and it was too late for me to chase it. Um, yeah, again, the only reason I hesitate is this. I have a very strict rule. Like I tend to focus on only double digit um earnings growth, and because this is on the little bit low side, I didn't jump to it. But overall, this is a very, you can see the earnings line here. It's really strong. Um and it has been doing well, like, so over time. So yeah. So this is the equal weight Nasdaq 100. Um Again, this looks like it has come out new high recently, and this week it just pulled back so slightly that you can't really tell even that much. And then we go to daily chart, and you can see here it did clear that high, and then again Tuesday it pulled back, and then it hasn't rebound that strong. That's one concern here, because if I draw a downtrend line, it definitely fit within the 45-degree angle downtrend line. Um, so there is a little bit of concern here. And you can see relative strength is also dropping. So there is some, again, on the software, on the tech side, maybe there is some issues. So just something to be aware of as we heading into the next 2 weeks, which, really heavy on earnings, and all the tech stocks are coming out. So definitely, this smells a little bit, you know potential issues here coming up. I don't know, especially with the rebound really weak on Thursday and Friday. So, just something to pay attention to for tech stocks related to Nasdaq in general. Let's jump to S&P. So, like, honestly, like, when I look at this chart, it just tells me like we are in a very strong bull market. I mean, like, this chart compared to Nasdaq is like a totally different chart almost. It just shows so much strength. If we come back to the 2002 bottom right here, Like, again, we have some issue coming up at the gate, but once we came out, we, it looks pretty smooth, right? Every run seems very strong, and now we clearly have broken the recent correction high, and so now look at this starting to go up in a nice, very strong angle in terms of the slope of where it's heading, and so I really like this. And um, let's go to the daily chart, and here's the nice, 10-day green line right here, 10-day moving average, and it's just really nice. Like, it just touches it and hold right here, and it moves on. And look at how like, to me this is almost like a stock chart, not an index chart. Um, I know that I usually don't see where it just. I mean, most runs they do ride the 10-day really well. So this is telling me this rally looks pretty strong. Here you can see it touches the 21-day many times, but here we haven't touched the 21-day too many times, like once right here. And it's just the tightness of the chart as well. Just tells me how stable the market environment is uh, for the S&P 500. Um, Again, we're going into the deepest earnings, environment right now for the next 2 weeks. And the good thing is a lot of financials, have really taken off. And not all of them, but at least a lot of them that have reported seems to be doing well. And some of them, like last week we saw how some of the ones reported Friday, Bank of America, like a couple of them, a few of them, you know, uh, just bounce and gap up, right? So yeah, this chart looks really awesome. Go Bank of America, um, it didn't go too far this week. So a lot of the banks this week actually pulled back slightly by the end of the week. You can see the little reversal right here. It's still a positive week overall for Bank of America. Again, I just want to highlight the numbers are pretty strong going forward. Um, yeah, so this is more than double the earnings going forward. So um, again, the big banks are doing really well, and the volume is high on this, like, nice breakout from the week ago. Um, so this is this week actually. So let's go to daily chart. Here's the breakout. Here's the volume comes in. Now, like I say, it does pull. It is pulling back right now for the last couple of days. Um, but I like the tightness of it on this pullback. So it looks like it's forming a handle up here, and the 10-day is starting to catch up, right? So this is a 10-day slope. So you could touch it and then bounce, or you might not touch it and bounce. There's always the chance that it will break through the 10-day and just stay below the 10-day. Then that's kind of back into a little downtrend short term. But right now, it looks pretty healthy, um, and it gives people another chance to get into the financials if they like it. Um, so if I let's just jump to XLF for a second. So last week you saw it broke out right here. This is the weekly chart, and then this week you can see it clearly went higher on the weekly chart, and volume also pick up, and that's what we're seeing this week. A lot of the financial stocks, including the many big caps that have reported, they continue to hit new high. And like I say, it's funny, the XLF I didn't see it actually go back down. Whereas like Bank of America, you saw that. So this, you see how like it kind of went down a little bit, but not much, right? Uh, so so the financial group, have the banks, right? So let's look at the bank ETF here. So you can see this one also nicely break out this week. Very nice chart. Then we have the regional, the smaller banks. Again, this one also break out. Also, so you can see lots of breakouts happening right now in the financial sector. Then we have the insurance group, KIE here, which has been keep hitting new highs even, Really nice chart. Like this one actually stronger, right? Um, and then we also have real estate. This one also bounced this week. It has somewhat of a correction pullback recently. Then we have the builders, home builders, um, also bouncing. So this also has pulled back recently, but now looks like it's trying to come out again. So look at the equal weight S&P also making new high, very healthy. Again, this is the broad base, more how do you say more because it's equal weighted, it just show it's kind of in terms of relative strength, it's very similar to where the weighted S&P is right now. And, yeah, so very similar, not much difference. So, but anyhow, both are acting well. Dow Jones also acting really well. You can see we made new high like quite a weeks ago. Um, and and look at this now we're at new high as well. If you go to daily chart, this also looks really strong on the daily chart. Yeah. So for Russell, again, this same story we've been talking about forever. Uh, when is it gonna come out? When is it gonna come out? When is it gonna make new high? And it's starting to look better and better, right? So we had this pullback in August, another pullback here, and then we pulled back recently, and even here I thought, oh man, it's like it was performing weaker than the other indexes. I thought here we go again, stuck again, and look at this week. It was able to come out from this nice, downtrend line here. So I don't know, like we're close to the highs now, like 2300. So we're very close, 2276 right now. And if we go through that line, I think like, you know, perhaps this is this is the time where it could take off. Again, who knows, right? Maybe it's just gonna, you know, let me just refresh this chart for a second. Maybe we just go up slowly, like we just, because you see new highs right here, new highs right here, new highs right here. So it seems to digest every time it make new high. Maybe it's just slow, like compared to the other index. Like, you know, like we all want to see like the nice 45-degree angle breakout, but kind of much like here, like this is even sharper than 45. Um, and even this, like this is back in like the pandemic time. It didn't go up very smoothly, right? You can see, but then comes at some point right here near the highs, it took off, and we are getting closer to the highs, and who knows, like it could take off at even stronger than 45-degree angle, just like right here. And so we need to pay attention to this, and we've seen some very speculative plays going on. I don't know if they're part of Russell or not, but there are lots of speculative plays this week. Drug is probably the most craziest. I don't even know what the fundamental story is, but they say it went up 44 times this week. Unbelievable. I don't know if this is like a meme stock kind of thing. Could be. But they don't make like I mean it's okay. Last quarter actually have a profit. But yeah, for a stock to go up 40 times is crazy. I tried to look up some news about it, but I couldn't find anything. So treat brain disease. So I don't know. But yeah, but it's I think definitely way more than extended now to even chase this. If you look at the daily chart, I was looking at the 5-minute chart on this day when it first moved. It was insane. Like you probably can't even tell from here. Let me go to like 15 minutes. I don't even remember the last time I seen anything like this. This crazy. So this was the day. Like it just keep going up, and then on the last two bars right here on the day, I was like, wow, look at that move. Then it kind of didn't do much the next 2 days, and then boom, it goes again because they're like, I think they're raising money or something. But I don't know what the initial news is. I couldn't figure it out. But then look at this sell off at the end here. So maybe the run is over. I don't know. We'll see. But it's just fun to watch it. I don't really trade this type of stuff. The other one that's kind of went crazy this week was also it's more in the area of the alternative energy for, like, power plants and stuff. That's a hot theme, and now all the small caps are also, this one has how many percent this week? 50, 99% this week. So yeah, double basically in 1 week. Again, this one doesn't have a strong fundamentals. It's improving slightly, but not much at all. And yeah, so again, this feels like a little bit meme type of stock. I'm not sure. Like, again, but this is in a stronger group. Obviously, we know the bigger guys, right? Like BST, GV. Those are the more healthier ones with good profit margin. This is the IBD Investors Business Daily newspaper here. In terms of economic data, so September retail sales number rose 0.4%. If you exclude oil and gas or autos and gas, it went up 0.7%. So they're pretty good numbers. And the fully fed manufacturing index also went up, and jobless claims also fell. So yeah, overall this is really good numbers. So looking at the advanced decline line for New York Stock Exchange, it's pretty much near the highs right here. So again, the broad base looks pretty healthy. On Friday, this is Friday's numbers: 1,200 stocks up, 1,000 roughly stocks down. So overall, it's a positive day on the Nasdaq. So this one show incredible improvement here recently. You can see the bounce right here. So maybe tech stocks, maybe Nasdaq, maybe they could perform. So we'll see. Because this one has done that many times now. So it went up, came back down really hard, went back up, come back down really hard. So we'll see if this one can move. And we're getting lots of earnings, so that will obviously move the market. Question is, um, which side they're gonna go. So yeah, following the IBD signal, we are in confirmed uptrend for a while now. September 11 was really when the uptrend started to resume, and we start to increase the allocation. And you can see it's been going on for a while now. Now it's October 18. We did have two distribution days this week, which is kind of weird. Um, yeah. So on Tuesday, let me see my notes here. Okay, I don't have notes there. I forgot to put notes. But yeah, on Thursday we have a stalling day, they call it, which is like you have higher volume, but it didn't move much on the index. So that's also weird. But when we look at the accumulation distribution, this is the number of stocks. As you can see, the numbers got pretty high by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On the distribution side, actually not too bad. It's almost 3-to-1 ratio. On the industry group side, also pretty healthy, like 2.5 times almost. On the sectors, we have technology doing okay. So this is net accumulation minus distribution. Um, and retail also okay. Industrial really strong. Health's okay. Commodities underwhelming. Um, and then financials are the strongest group. So that's the strongest sector there. Um, so we're looking at the wicks right now. Um, the volatility has been stubbornly remaining high for some reason. Average around 20 level. You can see here it comes up here quite often the last, you know, 2 to 3 weeks here. And even Mark Minervini mentioned this week how he has never seen where the index is hitting new highs and the volatility index are just pushing towards the highs as well, like versus being down here. Like this is like much higher. So this is very interesting, right? Like yeah, and this is also like Tom Lee's message as well. Like I'm sure his technical guy tells him there's something weird about this too. But so far, I think what we're gonna see in this earnings season is a lot of big movement. I think that's what this is trying to imply, right? So if you miss, you're gonna get knockout kind of thing. And if you're doing okay, you might move up, and like Netflix and Intuitive Surgical earlier we show, like they do really well. So the volatility is going to be, pretty big this time on the earnings side. It can really move your stock up, or it can really like punish you. So that's something to be very careful of. So overall, like I said, it's still a very healthy bull market. But we may see huge volatility on this earnings. All right, we'll jump into the semiconductor group right now, and we can see it actually underperformed this week. Um, and again, the ASML news really hurt the chips. Um, but we did have Taiwan Semiconductor, help out a little bit. Otherwise, I think it would have been down even more. So let's go to daily for a second. You know, it's a pretty bad break on Tuesday. So, um, yeah, the IBD they like to look at whenever you have a bad break, it could fall back, it could fall, and then it's gonna try to come back, and they call it the 50% retracement rule, roughly, right? It's just a number to use, halfway mark, and that's why for me, I like to use the 45-degree angle slope, which is similar, um, and the idea is that if it falls and it's trying to come back up, is it gonna pass the roughly the middle range area? Because that could resume the uptrend um, from the pullback, or it could continue to find resistance on this downtrend line. And this is a very severe, 45-degree angle slope, right? So it can be severe. Usually, most stocks, when they do fall hard, they do follow this trend line. So that's something to pay attention to. Um, yeah. So let's jump to like TSM. Well, let's just look at ASML first. Look at the break. I mean, this is a pretty bad break, and again, this is the volatility that I just talked about earlier, right? Like a few minutes ago. Like if a stock miss, I mean they miss big time, so obviously they got punished. But I think they missed by 20% or something. I can't remember the number, close to that number. But yeah, like this is the kind of movement we're gonna see in this earnings, and um, yeah. So anyhow, this is the slope line of the 10-day. That's another trend line you could use, the 10-day. It's obviously pretty steep slope right now. We'll see how it reacts as it come back towards it, whether it find resistance or it's gonna bounce through and try to recover from there. So maybe there's an overreaction and then maybe it does bounce back. Um, yeah. So here's TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. They have a good report. Strong earnings guidance still going forward. And you can see this nice really, I mean, it did break out even on this trend line, and then the traditional buy point right here. Nice volume comes in. Um, it did hit the 20% mark pretty quick from this, depending where you buy it here. This is a pretty sharp pullback that kicked me out. And I didn't buy back in just because again I didn't want to take any earnings risks. Um, yeah, I mean technically, it's buyable on Thursday news on the earnings, but I just find that it's just a little bit extended. Um, and hit the 20% profit margin for people who bought here. So I'm guessing that there's going to be people wanting to take some profit. And Friday we saw that happening, pullback, and the 10-day slopes right here. So I'm going to wait for the 10-day to catch up and see how it reacts around there. Um, but overall, like this stock, it is looking very healthy. The only thing I would say is that if Trump wins, they might not be very friendly to Taiwan Semiconductor. So that's some analysts say talk about that. And that's the only caveat to this stock. Let's jump to NVIDIA this week. Still looking pretty healthy. You can see that nice trend line breakout here. We're now trying to, I don't know if we hit a new high this week. I don't think so yet. 140. We're at 138. But the slope line is looking very healthy. Look at the 10-day bounce right here. So that was an opportunity to add after Tuesday's sell. It was a nice bounce on Wednesday, more than halfway retracement. I mean, it still can be dangerous. And then Thursday, it broke through that, and then it reversed. Friday, it traded really tightly. Look at that volume. No one's budging. Everyone just wait and see approach, which is a good sign. No one is hurrying to sell. Like I said, we're nearing that new high possibly happening, and it wouldn't take too much for Nvidia to move like a couple points. So yeah, I almost think it's almost gonna happen for sure. The question is like, we're gonna see lots of earnings coming up, so how's that gonna impact this? But everyone's saying, because Taiwan Semiconductor, they provide a lot of stuff to Nvidia, and they're doing well, so therefore Nvidia must be doing well too. So some chip stocks that are also kind of correlate to ASML, like clock is another one that fall pretty hard on that news. So again, like it seems like there's some semiconductor stocks that are kind of falling for that reason, and then there's some that are still holding up. And yeah, Kramer did talk about it in his show. I didn't really pay attention, but yeah, if you do have that show, you can go watch it. I think I'm pretty sure it was on Tuesday show. And whether there's a reasoning behind that, and so I think it's important to understand that, because if you're gonna play the chip sector, you want to know why some are not doing well and some are doing well. The IGV is holding pretty near the high. It's a downward for them as well. Um, but this is a pretty good looking chart, right? We talked about this last week, how it broke out really nicely, really strong. But this week is a little bit of give back. We saw the Tuesday drop, Wednesday. So it did find support at 10-day. That's good news. Again, the bounce weaker than I expected. Again, we are below the 45-degree slope here. So not quite the halfway mark yet. So we'll have to see. But the volume did drop quite significantly on those sell days. So that might be a good sign. Um, so yeah, let's jump to like big caps here. Microsoft. So I don't like this chart, but I also like this chart. So what I don't like about it is still kind of in a downtrend. Sitting like near the moving averages. They all have converged. Right. The good thing is it hasn't really broken any like severe down like trend line, like especially this one at the bottom. So we just stuck in this pendant type of formation. And it did make higher highs recently. I mean higher lows, but that doesn't really mean much when it's so tight. So and over such a short time period. So I mean obviously we still have 11 days to get earnings, so it looks like it's just gonna gyrate around here until that day. So we'll see. Yeah, like Amazon, you know, very similar. It's just kind of stuck in this range bound area near the moving short-term moving average. Um, Again, I think that they're all waiting for that earnings to come out before the next move. This chart looks nicer than Microsoft just because it's not near the lows, like trading down here at the 50-day. So there's definitely some support, and you can again very low volumes. Like this is super low volume, and you know if you follow Mark Minervini, he loves that. When you see volume contract this much, it's easy for it to move up, right? Um, More, right? So
Mm.
yeah, so that's a good one to pay attention to, I think. Um, and that one also trading in the upper range, so that's also good for that base. Meta, it has pulled back again, slowly pulling back. Like didn't, it's not really a big pullback. Um, unless you have a very tight, if you own this stock, unless you have a very tight stock, you might get kicked out. But so far, it's so tight. Again, the volume is really slow on this mega caps, which is really surprising. So everyone's just waiting. So you can see all those three stocks in the report the following week, not this coming week, but the following week. Let's look at Google. This one also very similar to Microsoft, just stuck in that range there. Volume is also somewhat low. So this is in the bottom half. So probably not my favorite. Like Amazon would be better, Meta would be better, but this one's trading in the bottom half of Microsoft. Um, Apple doing really well. I believe they might have touched a new high intraday, but then it fall back. Um, this chart looking very productive, surprising. Oh yeah, they did have some like news about them doing well in China. So that was I think the pop right here. Tuesday was a down day for the market, but then it did reverse. They found support on the 10-day moving average, which is good. And this slope is pretty nice, right? It's like close to 40-degree angle. Um, and Thursday and Friday it rebound, so it looks pretty good. This looks very healthy. Again, you can see the selling volume is really low, and any buying volume is on the high side. That's a good sign. So they might have a good report. Again, that week is humongous. Not this coming week, but that week. 11 and 12 days from now. We jump to Tesla. This like we broke this cup handle pattern. It's too deep now to be even considered a handle. So probably it's rebasing right now, and not sure how long this will take. But this is very tight. Wow, look at how tight that is. That's crazy. 3 days of like really low.
Mm.
So and this is coming out in 4 days. So this is the first big guy that report beside Netflix, which I already talked about. So yeah, so this is interesting. And again, like you know, I feel like Tesla. I'm more optimistic about Tesla now than the last many like 1 year. Just because like I think like and the fact that Uber announced they're gonna buy Expedia, I don't know if that's still a rumor or it's been confirmed. CNBC said they confirmed it, but I didn't really see any news that came out. I don't know. So Expedia jump on the news that Uber might buy them. Um, and you know, Uber fell pretty. It's falling even before that news came out. I think. Yeah, but yeah, like I feel like that's a big threat to Uber, right? If Tesla can come out with autonomous cars in the next year or two. Um, yeah. So I don't know, but I'm just saying like I'm more optimistic about Tesla because they have the upper hand right now. If they do, if they do produce that sooner. Um, so So to me, maybe there's a floor to this, right? Um, so we'll see. But short term, this I think the problem is like, this is the numbers. It keep decreasing, and that's the thing that investors gonna worry about. Um, do see some better numbers going forward, but that's like second half of next year. Not sure the reasoning for that, but anyhow. So, but short term, it is improving though. Like, you know, so maybe there'll be a surprise. We'll see. I don't know. So who knows, right? Whether they'll sell more cars. All right. So that's Tesla. Um, so some of the notable stocks news this week. HIMS moving up pretty strong on FDA may allow them to sell the generic obesity drug. I believe that's what they say. I think. Let me go to my notes here. Yeah, FDA would reconsider its decision to bar compounders from selling knockoff versions of Lilly weight loss drug. So I don't think that's confirmed yet, but it did bounce on the news. So let's go to Lilly. Lilly is just sitting very tight base right now. Um, Jim Ropel really like this stock and really strong earnings growth. You can see that doing pretty well, even going into next year. This is according to Jim Ropel, this is a 3 billion market right now. It could grow to $100 billion in like I don't know 5-10 years, something like that. So that's a huge market. You know, so lots of growth, and this is trading really tight. Um, you know, flat base right here. So yeah, I should draw a trend line right here because like if this breaks out, I think I would get into it. So Novartis is not doing as well. They keep hitting new lows. This is a L-shaped pattern right now, which is a bearish pattern, which means like as the short-term moving average catches up, it could find resistance um, and go lower. So that it looks very dangerous right there. Um, yeah, we're not acting really well for some reason. Novartis used to be acting very similar to Lilly until more recently. I think their drugs, obviously, drugs not as effective or something. I can't remember. But anyhow, yeah. Um, yeah. Since we're talking about this area, like VKTX is the other one that smaller cap and um also have this drug. Holding pretty tight. Very surprising for a stock like this. Um, go to daily chart. This is also having a nice trend line around there. Um, not sure. Yeah, if it does break out, I think that's a good sign. It keeps forming higher highs, so higher lows. I mean, sorry. So again, this is almost a pendant formation. Looks pretty good. So yeah. So this is Carnival Cruise. You can see the earnings are really good. It's really improving, and I really miss this boat here. uh, anyhow, like it's a nice breakout, and look at how sharp it's moving. Uh, even the 50 days moving at a 50-degree angle slope. Then we look at RCL, same thing, so strong. The cruise line is doing really well. Look at these numbers. Yeah. So this one hasn't reported yet, but Carnival has, and it's doing well. And then we have NCLH. This one also looks really strong. I mean, they're on a tear right now. Again, all these numbers look so good. Again, this one report in 12 days. Viking is the newcomer. Uh, a lot of IBD traders they follow this one. Um, yeah, this is an IPO, so could get more attention and again improving from losses to positive. And then here again, same thing. It's improving quite well. So yeah, all these cruise lines have strong fundamentals, and now the technical is starting to act very well. So I'm trying to find a way to get in, but they just move so fast. Just want to talk a little bit about the Chinese area for those who follow it. I don't really have any stocks in that area right now. I missed this run right here. Um, there's only one stock I did hold for a little bit. But you can see it has fallen back quite a bit. It's not quite the halfway mark yet. Maybe I can't tell. Um, but if you look at the daily chart, maybe it has. Like so, here's the lows, here's the highs, and here's the middle. Okay, so it looks like it is slightly below the middle now. And so yeah, right now it bounced back on Friday, but this slope is really strong. Right? Like if we go like this, that's too strong. So if we do a 45-degree angle, it'll look more like this. But either way, you can see it's just sitting right there. And so we'll see how this react. Because this could be important if it does bounce. Like it could go for another run. Um, like but I'm not sure because if it does fall, it will also fall hard. I think because people will start to give up on it, and maybe they're gonna hit the 50-day line and then bounce off. Right? That's another thing that could happen. So again, there's lots of Chinese stocks you can look at. The only one I was trading before this was this pullback was ATAT, and look at this one. Like this is the run right here, and it just doesn't want to go below 10 day. It finally did go below 10 day, and then boom, it comes back again. There's lots of and then look at the selling volume. It just doesn't want to really go up that much. And then look at the buying volume here. So yeah, this you and Jim Roper talk about this stock. Like this was one I was trading before this breakdown. Like I say, I was surprised it didn't break down even more. So this is one I think I would continue to monitor. But a lot of stocks have again fallen pretty hard now. So if you were trying to ride the hype and you got in late, you are getting punished right now. Um, so that's JD. And then there's Futu. This one was one I missed. Like AT&T, I was going to get in, but then I missed it. I just somehow, yeah, I didn't buy it. Anyhow, and then this one now, look, it's coming almost all the way back to the buy point. It didn't quite hit it, but again, we're severe pullback right now. I haven't traded this Qfin stock in a while. This is another Chinese stock. This is the last time it pulled back. Again, look at this. Considering what's happening in the Chinese market, look at how tight this is trading. And it even came out on Friday. Again, you can see the volume dwindling on the sell side, and it only took some volume and it came out. So again, this stock looks tremendously strong. And this is in the financial area. So for next week, we again lots of earnings coming out. It's just starting. Like really, sit down, take your popcorn, and just watch the show. Like I don't like to take too much risks. So I don't usually get in before the earnings. But for those who are trading options, maybe you want to, because there might be a lot of volatility coming up. And this is the earnings calendar, and I'm just seeing any pronounced stock coming out. We have GE, GM. Let me see what else we have here. We have some mining stocks as well. Oh, I didn't talk about gold stocks. We'll jump to that quickly after this. Um, with CLS also doing really well in the contract manufacturing, electrical stuff. So that area is still pretty strong. Um, ServiceNow on the software side. Some people are looking at Pega. Mark Ricci was talking about it on Friday IBD show. Um, Tesla for sure. This is the big one this week. VRT. So that's the another hot stock. You know, So again, they're really extended. So could be more risk than reward in my opinion, but who knows? Portfolio Deckers. Let's see anything else that's for now. Texas Roadhouse. That's HCA in the hospitals. That area also kind of moving a little bit. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I will have another video that talk about my top growth stocks list, and we'll go over some of the stocks that report this week as well, especially in the financial area. Thank you for watching this video.